Honorable sir, let's talk about taxation. Some of these drivers, they believe that your government, through your licensed agents, are overtaxing them. Some of them pay as high as 1,500 per day, and then the lowest could be 700. So they believe they are being overtaxed. What do you have to say concerning it, sir?
That's the major problem we have in Anambra State. Some people do mistake everywhere, whatever they see to be government revenue. Those drivers, they have their union.
Okay.
KK people, they have their union. Okada people, they do the same too. And they have what they call their union welfare. There's a certain amount token they contribute for their women union welfare. What is that money for? According to them, that they use it for maybe the end of year party, or one of their members is sick, or one of their members died, if they have court cases, and a lot of things. So they equally use it for a kind of social intervention program and employment for some drivers that are not on steering. They equally assist them. That's one of it. Then we have our legitimate government revenue.
Okay.
Whoever uses our road is entitled to pay a token as tax legitimately for road users, because government is from that tax they pay, the government could be able to do the road, provide basic amenities and infrastructures. But what we noticed in Anambra, because of the behavioral ideology of our people, because they believe originally we provide for government to provide services. But here, they believe that government is to provide for you and equally provide the services. And what determines whatever any government can do is availability of resources.
Okay.
Is the resources that you use to do whatever you can do. Without resources, the government cannot do anything. So, and for us to generate that money, here in Anambra State, I don't know, more especially, let me not just say Anambra, in the southeast, they believe in just what government can do without thinking of how to assist government to have the materials and the equipments or whatever, or the logistics to be able to do that. The major problem we have in Anambra, which we've now solved, was that some miscreants who claim to be revenue collectors, who are, I can say, for the rest of their life, they grew up on the street collecting revenue from people. Sometimes most of those money you're talking about are not genuine. Some of them are illegal, not authorized by the state, unknown to the state. Well, some miscreants will just gather themselves at a particular area and be collecting money from people. And the government agencies have been going after them. Many of them are now in prison. Go to Onitsha prison, you will see a lot of them there. So, but because we are not ghosts, we could not be everywhere at the same time. But as much as we can do, we've done a lot to see that we stop that. And by now, I personally formulated a policy whereby I harmonize revenue collections for Okada, KK, and buses. So they will know actually what they're supposed to pay in a day. I've gone to the extent of constituting a joint task force of government and those unions, and got the security agencies to give them the needed support so that whoever is collecting money from them illegally could be easily apprehended. So we've done a lot, and what you just say now should be a thing of about last 2, 3, 4 months. From 2 months ago to now, we've handled that situation and everything is now going on normal.
Okay, sir. Let's talk about park management. So how are the Anambra parks managed? What are the innovations that have been introduced to this very important sector in your ministry?
Actually, what we did here, like I told you, every state has its own peculiarity. In Lagos State government is dealing with 85% non-indigenous and 15% indigenous.
Okay.
We're here in Anambra State, the reverse is the case. We're dealing with 85% indigenous and 15% non-indigenous. So indigenous sentiment is very high here. So whatever you do, you must, as a government, there are many variables that brought up what should be an institution of the state. And for you to function as a responsible government, you must put all those things into consideration. So what we did here, in the spirit of employment and empowerment, we are using agents, consultants to collect the revenue here in Anambra State. But we didn't just, there's a process, a very transparent process of bidding, whereby it was openly published in newspapers, and people were asked to bid to make sure that we respect the Procurement Act. So it was done, and people bidded, and the highest bidders are the people that will get the job. So we went through a transparent process that is almost at the conclusion stage now.
So you mentioned that there are agents that manage these parks. Please, who are these agents that manage the parks?
They are indigenous of Anambra State. Indigenous of Anambra State, well qualified. The criteria we used was that we used companies as agents, and that company must be up to date in tax payment. They're just normal consultants that have the prerequisite to apply for government job. That's just what we're using here.
To manage park is not easy, but there's a rule and regulations from the government how to manage the park and control it. Formerly, in those days, during the time of National Union, and you see somebody, he will leave his park and enter into another person's park and started to, if you feel that he has strength more than the person, you just push him out of his park and take control. But since we started park managers with the help of Uchenna Okafo, popularly known as Wiper, since he started controlling the park, he's the one that helped us to arrange all these things and package it and make park a safest place.
If one wishes to run a private park, what are the criteria? Like, if I want to own a park, a private park, what are the processes in obtaining your approval?
What that person is supposed to obtain is operational permits.
Okay.
Well, the state has to first of all come and do a feasibility study to see where you want to site a park. You know, you can't just go and site a park anywhere. You site parks where we have need for it.
Okay.
We have to check the traffic flow and understand whether we need a park at that place. If when you come and apply, we first come for inspection. You will certify the location okay. Then there are procedures you have to pass, and you'll be paying to government on monthly basis.